You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a topic that isn't just coming soon, it's really shaping our world right now. The battle for AI tech dominance. This isn't some abstract future thing. It's a really profound global dynamic. And it's picking up speed fast. It's going to define the next few decades.
Definitely.
Our goal today is simple. Give you a clear handle on this critical subject. A real shortcut to getting well-informed.
And what's really striking, I think, is how AI leadership, it's basically become synonymous with future power itself.
You mean economic power?
Military, all of it.
Yeah.
Economic strength, military capability, even cultural influence. And understanding that connection, that's exactly what's fueling this intense, almost urgent global race we're seeing.
Okay. And to help us navigate this whole complex picture, our deep dive today is based on a key report from the AI World Journal.
Right.
The article is called The Battle for AI Tech Dominance: Today's Intensifying Conflict and the Future Ahead, dated August 1st, 2025.
A very timely piece.
Absolutely. So our mission, like always, is to pull out those crucial insights, the key takeaways from this source, make sense of the complexity, and really highlight, where it gets interesting, where the stakes are highest for you.
Let's do it.
So let's unpack the report's pretty powerful opening. It says these initial skirmishes, they've erupted into a full-blown global conflict. It's framing this not just as tech news, but as the geopolitical flashpoint of our time. Rapid breakthroughs, strategic countermoves. But is full-blown conflict maybe a bit strong? Or does that framing capture something important?
Well, I think the report's phrasing there highlights something crucial. This fight for AI dominance, it's moved way beyond just theoretical competition. It's a real high-stakes reality now.
Okay.
And what sometimes gets missed is this isn't just about who has the shiniest new tech. It's about the actual architecture of future global power, meaning who sets the standards, who controls the data flows, and ultimately whose values get sort of baked into the digital fabric of tomorrow. That's the really deep shift happening right now.
Right, the underlying structures. Okay, so within this escalating present, the report points to semiconductors as the most visible, maybe the most contentious front, the chip wars.
Definitely the most visible, yeah.
And the U.S. offensive here seems pretty direct. Stringent export controls. We're talking about measures aimed at high-end GPUs. Think NVIDIA's A100, H100.
The ones you really need for training the biggest models.
Exactly. And also that crucial advanced chip manufacturing equipment, like from ASML, their EUV lithography tools.
Oh yeah, extreme ultraviolet. Absolutely essential for making the smallest, most powerful chips. You can't really get to the cutting edge without them.
And significantly, the report mentions controls even on cloud access to high-end AI compute for Chinese companies.
Right, hitting them on multiple fronts.
The goal seems pretty explicit. Seriously slow down China's ability to train those most advanced frontier models, those big general-purpose AIs.
And China's countermove here is, well, it's fascinating. As the report details, they're just pouring unprecedented resources into semiconductor self-sufficiency.
Like Made in China 2025 amplified.
Exactly. On steroids is a good way to put it. Key players like Huawei with their Ascend AI chips and SMIC, they're making determined progress, still lagging behind the absolute cutting edge, but determined.
Okay.
But what's really insightful, I think, is their aggressive push for indigenous innovation in the algorithms themselves, designing AI that can work efficiently even on, let's say, less advanced hardware.
So software workarounds for hardware limits.
Precisely. They're exploring sophisticated methods like mixture of experts models. Think DeepSeek V2, which claims competitive performance using way fewer parameters. It's basically about getting more intelligence bang for your computing buck, a clever approach.
It's clear these chip restrictions are creating kind of chokehold. But the report also stresses This isn't just a US-China thing, right?
No, not at all. The ripple effects are global.
Yeah.
Massive. Well, it's reshaping global supply chains.
Yeah.
It affects the availability, the cost of basically everything powered by AI, which impacts you directly, your devices, the services you use.
Right.
Global companies are tangled in incredibly complex compliance rules now, and it's pushing, incentivizing chip factory investments in allied nations, Japan, South Korea, India, Europe, diversifying production away from traditional hubs.
Okay, so that covers the hardware battle, which is crucial.
Yeah.
But what about the software side? The actual brains of AI. The report calls this the model wars.
Yeah, and frenetic is the right word for it. The race to build the most capable AI models. The pace is just breathtaking.
Give us a sense of that pace.
Well, the source highlights these rapid leaps. OpenAI's GPT-4 Turbo, Google's Gemini 1.5, especially that huge 1 million token context window.
Which means it can process incredible amounts of information at once, like a whole book.
Exactly. Or hundreds of pages of legal docs all in one go. Then you've got Anthropic's Claude 3 Opus, Meta's Llama 3. They're all getting better, incredibly fast at reasoning, at handling multiple types of input text, image, audio, video, that's multimodality, and just being more efficient overall.
And China's players.
They're pushing hard too. Baidu with Ernie 4.0, Alibaba with Qwen 1.5. They're working to close the gap, often with a strong focus on their own huge domestic market.
Now, the report calls Meta's decision to open source Llama a seismic event. That felt big at the time, but seismic, why that word? Was it purely good for innovation, or did it, as some critics worry, open up too many risks?
That's a really important question. Seismic fits, I think, because it genuinely turbocharged the open source ecosystem.
How so?
It dramatically lowered the barrier to entry. It gave smaller players, researchers, even entire nations access to powerful foundational models they couldn't possibly build themselves. Think Mistral, Cohere Command, R+it. Countless community projects sprang up. It democratized access and sped up innovation significantly.
But the downside?
The downside, and the report is careful to balance this, are the real concerns about misuse. When models this powerful are freely available, how do you control that? And from a business perspective, it definitely erodes the competitive moat that companies with proprietary models had built.
And feels like the focus is shifting slightly, too. It's not just about building the absolute biggest model anymore.
Exactly. The report points to a key strategic shift. Beyond sheer scale, there's a big move towards specialized models.
Tailored for specific jobs.
Right. Models designed for biology or material science or finance. And also, crucially, making models smaller, faster, cheaper to run. Like Microsoft's Phi 2, Google's Gemma.
Which means they can run locally. On your phone, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. On edge devices, not just in massive data centers. So for you listening, this breakneck innovation speed means new AI tools and apps appearing constantly. But it also brings up those tricky trade-offs. Open access versus the risks of powerful, widely spread AI.
Okay, let's pivot now to governance fragmentation. The report makes it really clear that setting the rules for AI is just as critical as building the tech, but getting everyone on the same page, that seems tough.
Yeah, consensus is proving very elusive, and what's striking is how different the approaches are globally.
Like the EU.
Exactly. The EU is really out front with regulation. Their AI Act is close to implementation now. It's the world's first truly comprehensive risk-based framework.
What does that mean, risk-based?
It means different rules for different levels of risk. It includes outright bans on things deemed unacceptable, like social scoring by governments, then strict obligations on high-risk systems, think medical devices or critical infrastructure AI, and transparency rules for things like chatbots and deepfakes.
Trying to set a global standard, the Brussels effect.
That's the aim, yeah. But the report does note the criticisms. Could it stifle innovation? Will enforcement be practical across all member states? Those are open questions.
And the U.S. approach seems different.
Much more fragmented, yeah. The emphasis there has been more on voluntary commitments from the big AI labs. Things like safety testing before release, watermarking AI-generated content.
So industry self-policing, partly.
Partly, yes. Supplemented by targeted actions from specific agencies like the FTC looking at bias or NIST developing standards. And there is significant government money going into AI safety research, the new U.S. AI Safety Institute, for example, but comprehensive federal laws. Still stalled in Congress.
And China.
China's regulations, as the report lays out, are really driven by state control, social stability, and national security concerns.
How does that translate?
Strict rules on generative AI content, it has to align with socialist values. mandatory security reviews for models before deployment. It's a very different philosophy.
So 3 distinct blocks emerging. EU regulation-heavy, U.S. innovation-focused but fragmented, China state control-focused. What about global efforts?
Well, the report mentions initiatives like the UK's AI safety summits, the UN's AI advisory body. There's clearly a desire for international cooperation. People are talking.
But talking isn't agreeing.
Exactly. Tangible agreements on truly binding global norms or shared safety protocols still seems a long way off. So for you listening, it's worth thinking about how these different rule books might affect your digital rights, your privacy, maybe even the AI services you can access depending on where you are. We're just reporting these different approaches, of course, not endorsing any particular one.
Right. Okay, next up, the report dives into something absolutely fundamental. The competition for people and power. Compute power, that is, talent and compute, described as fiercer than ever.
Oh, absolutely. On the talent side, it's intense. We're seeing aggressive poaching of top AI researchers, companies, and even countries offering incredibly lucrative packages.
And it's not just about money, is it?
No. Even things like visa policies, the report mentions, U.S. restrictions on Chinese grad students in certain STEM fields are being used as tools in this battle for brain power. Online learning is widening access to some extent, sure, but that really top-tier cutting-edge expertise, still very concentrated, very highly thought after.
And then the compute side, the compute crunch.
Yeah, the demand for the sheer processing power needed for advanced AI training and then running these models inference, it just far outstrips the current supply.
And building the infrastructure, these massive data centers.
It requires immense capital investment and increasingly vast amounts of energy. That's becoming a whole new bottleneck.
The energy demands are staggering, aren't they? I mean, we're talking potentially small city levels of power just to train one of these frontier models.
It's enormous. It really makes you pause and think about the physical footprint of this digital revolution.
So while the big cloud providers, the AWS, Azure's, Google Clouds, the US hyperscalers are expanding like crazy.
Right, they are. But other nations are trying not to be totally reliant on them. Canada, for instance, has its AI Compute Access Fund. Companies and countries are investing in their own national or sovereign computing resources. Yeah. It's about reducing dependence.
So for our listeners, this really underscores the huge career opportunities in AI, but also the sheer scale of the infrastructure needed and those growing environmental questions around AI development.
Absolutely. Big considerations.
Okay, let's shift our focus now towards the future. The report suggests the path ahead isn't predetermined. It's going to be shaped by these complex interactions, tech progress, geopolitics, societal choices.
Indeed. And what's interesting is how the report refines potential future scenarios based on these dynamics.
Like the first one, U.S. technobloc consolidation. What does that look like?
That would involve the U.S. strengthening its alliances. Think AUKUS, the Quad, the U.S.-EU Trade and Technology Council. Harmonizing export controls, setting shared standards, really leveraging the global dominance of U.S. big tech.
Makes sense. What are the challenges there?
The main challenges would be, can they keep that innovation engine running while dealing with increasing regulatory pressures, both domestic and maybe from partners like the EU? Mm-hmm. And can they do it without alienating those partners?
Okay. Then the opposite scenario, perhaps. China's resilient autonomy.
Right. This path sees China managing to overcome those semiconductor bottlenecks, maybe through sheer scale of investment, maybe through clever workarounds like advanced chip packaging.
And the outcome.
A powerful, largely self-contained Chinese AI ecosystem, potentially with significant influence across the global south, countries may be looking for alternatives to Western tech. But the report adds a caveat. The risk for China in this scenario could be falling behind technologically compared to a more globally integrated West over the long term.
And the EU, their potential future.
EU as regulatory superpower. The ambition here is for the EU AI Act to become the de facto global standard. Everyone just complies because the EU market is too big to ignore.
So, becoming the ethical AI hub.
That's the idea. Success really hinges on effective enforcement and proving that their type of regulation actually fosters trustworthy innovation, not just hinders it.
And what if none of these blocks fully dominant?
That leads to the fourth scenario. Fragmented multipolarity. More nations deciding to go their own way, pursuing AI sovereignty.
Examples.
The report mentions India with its huge talent pool, Japan and South Korea leveraging their semiconductor and robotics strengths, The Gulf states pouring in massive investment capital, even Brazil or nations in Africa using unique data or focusing on specific local applications.
Resulting in
A much more complex global picture, a web of bilateral tech deals, competing standards, constantly shifting alliances, not neat blocks, but a more, well, fragmented landscape. So for you, listening, thinking about these different futures, how could they change global trade, international relations, your own access to different kinds of AI?
Yeah, fascinating possibilities. Beyond those broad scenarios, the report flags several critical emerging factors, things that will really shape this contest going forward. First up, one we touched on, energy as the new choke point.
This is absolutely crucial, and the report really hammers it home. Training these cutting-edge models uses just staggering amounts of electricity.
Because access to energy becomes strategic.
A critical strategic advantage. Access to cheap, reliable, and increasingly important green energy. This ties the geopolitics of AI directly to the geopolitics of energy LNG supplies, renewable energy buildouts, grid stability. It's all connected now.
Then there's the open source wildcard. We discussed Llama, but looking ahead.
The big question the report poses is, will open source models keep pace with or even overtake the big proprietary ones? Could they become the dominant way AI is developed?
The implications would be huge.
Massive. On one hand, it promises further democratization, more innovation from more places. On the other, it makes controlling the spread of potentially dangerous capabilities much, much harder.
Which ties into the next factor, AI safety and alignment.
Exactly. As models get more powerful, the risks just grow. Unintended consequences, deliberate misuse, think more sophisticated cyber weapons, disinformation campaigns that are harder to detect, maybe even biorisks, and then the longer-term concerns about maintaining control of our systems smarter than us.
So safety becomes a competitive factor.
The report suggests it could, yes. Being able to demonstrate that your AI is robustly safe and aligned with human values could become a major differentiator. And it'll likely be a huge focus for international talks, especially if progress towards artificial general intelligence AGI starts to accelerate. The stakes get exponentially higher then.
And it's not just about the core models, right? It's about using them.
Precisely. The application battlefield. Dominance isn't just who has the best foundational model on paper. It's who deploys it most effectively.
Where will we see this competition play out?
Expect intense races in applying AI to critical sectors. Autonomous vehicles, discovering new drugs, personalized medicine, smarter manufacturing, climate modeling, financial systems. The list goes on. Whoever achieves truly transformative applications first gains enormous economic and strategic advantages.
And finally, a factor that's maybe been underestimated.
The Global South's rising voice. Developing nations are increasingly demanding not just access to AI's benefits, but a real seat at the governance table.
Raising issues like
Data exploitation, whose data trains these models. Algorithmic bias reflecting developers' worldviews. The widening digital divide. And the report notes China is very actively courting these nations, offering technology partnerships, infrastructure, challenging traditional Western influence. So for you, thinking about these factors, they could touch everything from your energy costs to national security debates to the very ethics of how AI evolves.
Okay, so given this incredibly complex, high-stakes picture, what does the report say needs to happen? What are the strategic imperatives?
Well, it breaks it down. For nations, the message is pretty clear. Invest relentlessly in R&D, especially chips and algorithms. Nurture your talent pipeline, secure your energy supplies and critical minerals needed for hardware. Build resilient digital infrastructure.
Governance.
Develop clear but also adaptable governance frameworks. Don't lock things down too rigidly too early. And engage strategically in international diplomacy. It's a balancing act, national security versus the benefits of open collaboration.
Makes sense. What about for corporations?
For companies, it's about relentless innovation, but with a real focus now on efficiency, specialization, and crucially, safety. They need to secure their own supply chains, chips, energy. They have to navigate this complex patchwork of global regulations we talked about.
And build trust?
Absolutely. Build trust through transparency, ethical practices, forge strategic partnerships. And the report really stresses effective deployment of AI within specific industries. That's going to be key for corporate survival and success.
And then zooming out one last time, for the global community as a whole.
The report calls for establishing at least minimum international norms and safety protocols. Things maybe most countries could agree on.
Like what?
Maybe rules against fully autonomous lethal weapons. Basic cybersecurity standards for critical AI systems. Fostering honest dialogue on the really tough shared challenges. bias, job displacement, even those longer-term existential risks.
Unfairness.
Promoting equitable access to AI's benefits. Avoiding a future where AI creates an even more catastrophic global divide. And underpinning all of this is the need to invest in AI literacy, public understanding, so people can engage with these issues meaningfully. So for you, listening, it raises that question: what's your role as a global citizen? How does understanding these strategies shape your perspective, maybe even your choices?
So wrapping up, the report's conclusion is stark. The battle for AI tech dominance isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, and the track and the rules are constantly changing. What we're seeing now, this intensity, it might just be the prologue.
That's a great way to put it. And to add one final thought connecting to the bigger picture, the report hints at the convergence of AI with other exponential technologies. Think quantum computing, advanced biotech that's only going to raise the stakes even higher. The victors in this contest won't just shape economies and militaries, they'll shape the very fabric of society, the future of work, maybe even the future trajectory of intelligence itself. The path forward needs more than just tech brilliance. It needs unprecedented strategic foresight, deep ethical consideration, and, somehow, global cooperation. The choices being made right now in the next few years, they'll likely echo for centuries. Will AI be the greatest engine for human flourishing we've ever seen? Or a source of unprecedented division and danger? The battle is truly joined, and the entire planet has a stake in how it turns out. So the question for you to ponder is, what stands out to you about this profound conflict, and what do you think its ultimate outcome might be?
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.